It's Geneviève from the Red Fairy Project. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to week 1 of Love Yourself Now. And one of the reasons why I actually wanted to really include the word now is because I feel like we're all kind of obsessed with, including myself, personal development, self-improvement, bettering ourselves, taking things to the next level. And I think that's great. And that is something that is really built in me. But we also need to learn to love ourselves, like ourselves now, and know that we're okay, we're more than okay, we're actually completely worthy right now. And today I want to talk about why self-love is the foundation for basically everything in your life. And if you don't want to just survive in life, if you actually want to thrive, self-love really is the foundation. And if you don't have that, if you have a shaky foundation, it's going to be a struggle. So, and this really pertains to every single aspect of your life. So in love, personal relationships, in friendships, in work, even in your finances, if you don't have that foundation of self-love, and it doesn't mean being full of yourself and being like self-involved and all that, that can really creep into the different aspects of your lives. And I'll give you just a few examples. So for example, the first thing that I can think of is in romantic relationships. And I can think of some of the mistakes that I made when I was a bit younger. And I have to say, if I'm being completely honest, I really struggled with self-love when I was younger. I'm not sure why. I think that, and I know that my parents are going to be watching this, I love you, Mom and Dad, but I think that it's something that maybe not all parents think of giving, or maybe even if it's something that they struggle with themselves, maybe it's more difficult for them to teach that to their kids. And it's something that I feel like I hear that a bit more now, maybe for, you know, the younger generations, where people, like the parents, really think of teaching that to their kids. Or I have heard in, you know, in different spheres of my life, people saying, oh, my parents taught me I could do, you know, anything. And I think that's really important. So whatever the reasons are for me not having a lot of self-esteem, I really worked damn hard on that, so hard. I don't know what age. I remember when I was a teenager, it was extremely difficult. So obviously this isn't a therapy session, I'm not going to go into details. I would say I probably started working on self-love, I would say in my 20s, where somehow intuitively I started realizing that life was going to be a struggle if I didn't work on that. So it's taken many years. I'm 42 now, so that's about 2 decades of work. And as I was saying, some of the mistakes, when you don't have, so for me, self-love and self-confidence, it's the same thing, it's just different words. And when you don't have self-confidence or self-esteem, or you don't have a lot of it, we can be very insecure, and that can just poison our relationships. One of the first things that comes to mind is jealousy. When we're not confident with ourselves, usually we're not going to be confident towards the other person, and we might think that they're looking around, maybe they don't really love us that much, and it can cause a lot of issues. It can be the same thing with friendships. A lot of kind of cattiness can go on between women in particular. Not to say that men don't suffer from low self-esteem, but I find it's a little more in the female realm for some unfortunate reason. And so as I said, cattiness, jealousy, people doing things, if I want to like generalize and not be sexist, it's just people do things and make bad decisions to feel better about themselves because they have that lack of self-confidence. And how does that affect your career? Well, if you don't have the self-confidence, you might not ask for that promotion. You might not even speak up in meetings when you have something interesting to say. And I remember even being in school and thinking and overthinking of, I just wanted to ask a question, or I knew the answer, but I was like, but what if I'm wrong, and what am I going to look like? And obviously the fear of what other people think, that is a huge issue when you don't have enough self-confidence. You also are very concerned about other people's opinions. You might go, when you have a decision to make in life, and you might ask around 50 different people, asking them what you should do, because you're not fully confident in the decision that you're going to make. So I just find that life is a struggle. I find that you have a shaky foundation when you don't have that self-love. And obviously we're all going to make mistakes in our lives, but I think that I could have avoided some mistakes and some hardship had I had a little bit more self-love. And for me, self-love is the foundation to being healthy and happy. And so it's something that I infuse pretty much everything that every video I put out there, because I really believe that is one of the most important things that we can learn. I think it makes us better people just with ourselves. It makes us better girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, sisters, employees, bosses, everything. I find that we toss a lot of issues and a lot of dramas to the side when we do have that self-love. So the theme for this month, February, it's not a coincidence, February, Valentine's Day. So for me, February is like the month of love. And I'm one of those cheesy people that I celebrate like Valentine's and the theme of love and all that throughout the entire month because of what it represents. And I know some people will say it's just like a commercial marketing gimmick and all that to get us to, you know, buy chocolates and flowers and stuff like that. I really don't care. Like, I'm making it kind of the interpretation that I want. And for me, when I think of Valentine's Day and even just the colors and the symbols that like the pink and the red, it's just so positive and loving. And once again, we can't love other people properly if we don't have that foundation for self-love. And if I compare some of the mistakes that I made in my life, in my romantic relationships in particular, because of that lack of self-confidence, and then I learned from that, and also my self-love grew with time, I noticed in my current relationship, I've been with the same person for over 8 years now, and I could see myself getting into a situation where I could have made the same mistakes again, regarding, let's say, trust, jealousy, and things like that. And I decided not to fall into that trap again, but I was able to do that because I had enough perspective and enough self-love to say, I trust, you know, my partner, and I trust that I'm enough, and if that's not enough for them, then too bad, it's kind of their loss. So I really want you to think about that foundation. So for the next 4 weeks, we're going to touch on different subjects regarding self-love. And I don't want you to confuse self-love once again with being egotistical. It's really not the same thing. It's really knowing that you're enough no matter what you do. Also, not looking for love in other people, from other people. I think that's another place where we can maybe go off track when we need the validation from other people, because then it's out of our control. And if there's one thing that I've learned is we really have to go inside and look inside for self-love, for inner peace. Anything that we're truly, truly looking for and need in life, we need to find that internally, not externally. So I also would love to know if there are certain aspects in particular in your life where you maybe struggle more than others, because sometimes we might have quite strong self-love or self-confidence in, let's say, our romantic relationships, but when it comes to work, maybe we're less confident for whatever reason. It can be circumstances that happened in the past. Sometimes it can be just like one kind of traumatizing experience that we just played over and over in our head again, and we really need to get past that as well. So if there is an area in particular, let me know. As you know, I'm on Instagram every day. I'm going to be doing some Instagram lives, some Insta stories. And I'm also on Facebook, as you know, at Red Fairy Project. So you know where to find me. I love getting input from you, knowing what maybe your struggles are or your success stories as well, because I've learned a lot in my life, but I love getting, I guess, input from other people's, and wisdom, I should say, from other people's experiences as well. So if you have some key lessons regarding self-love, and you don't mind me sharing anonymously, I would love for you to share those. So as I said, you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook at Red Fairy Project. You can even email me if you want, info@redfairyproject.com, and I would love to know what your secrets to self-love are, or perhaps maybe some challenges that you have. And we will be digging into different tools for self-love over the next few weeks, and how even the journey to self-love is not one straight line, one straight road. It can be a bit windy. There can be some ups and downs. And I really want to share what I've learned. And I'm still working on self-love. I still can be quite harsh on myself, like many of us are. So I'm still a work in progress, just like we all are. So wishing you a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm very excited for the next 4 weeks. I think this is the topic that's honestly closest to my heart, and I hope you find it very, very helpful. So love you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.